Hello and welcome to Match Point, your weekly dose of all the big stories making headlines in the world of sports. A new era begins in Indian cricket as Shubman Gill takes charge as India's ODI captain, leading the side for the upcoming series in Australia. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli meanwhile make their much-awaited return to the ODI setup after the 2025 Champions Trophy. In Test cricket, India delivered a dominant performance in Ahmedabad with Jadeja and Siraj spearheading an innings and a 140-run victory over the West Indies in the first Test match. And as the men take a brief breather, all eyes turn on to the India-Pakistan Women's World Cup, where India entered as a firm favourites. All that and much more coming up right here on the Match Point, where every story hits the mark. So let's get started. Now the big story, the Shubman Gill has been announced as the Team India's new ODI captain, taking over from Rohit Sharma. The BCCI have announced the India squad for the upcoming 3-match ODI series against Australia down under, with Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli both featuring. Shreyas Iyer has been named as the India's ODI vice captain. The series starts from October 19. Now let's take a look at India's full squad. If you take a look at the list of batters, Shreyas Iyer is there, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, Dhruv Jurel, wicketkeeper, and Yashasvi Jaiswal, also a wicketkeeper, and Shubman Gill, as we all know that, has been appointed as the new captain of the ODI format. Now let's talk about the all-rounders for the Indian team. Akshar Patel is there, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Washington Sundar, and Jadeja is not featuring in this list, who's the part of the Champions Trophy. Now let's take a list of the bowlers for the Indian team for the 3-match ODI series. Kuldeep Yadav, the spin wizard, Harshit Rana, Siraj, Arshdeep, and Prasidh Krishna. This is the bowling lineup of the Team India for the ODI series against Australia. Jasprit Bumrah is not in this list. He has been rested, so he will feature in the T20 series against Australia. And to break it all down and share their insight, we are joined by former India cricketer and renowned commentator Ajay Mehra and DDCA Joint Secretary Amit Grover. Both with us to decode the big decisions, the Team India's balance, and the India's dominant run across the format. Ajay, first coming to you, talk about the Rohit Sharma, right now 30-year-old, was India's full-time captain till from the December 2021. Overall, he led India in 56 ODI, losing just 42 and winning 42 and losing just 12 matches and one tie. So he had led the India to the 2018 Asia Cup as a stand-in captain, then 2023 Asia Cup as a full-time captain. Under his leadership, we saw India made final of the 2023 World Cup also. And finally, his tenure culminated in winning the Champions Trophy. So do you think, Ajay, was it the right time for the change of guard for this Indian team in ODI setup?
Good evening, Narayan. I feel so because, Rohit Sharma, as you mentioned, has done a spectacular job. He's been a great captain, he's been a great leader and a great performer with the bat as well. But, as they say, you have to look into the future, Narayan. And someone like Shubman Gill, he's done so well. We have seen him in the IPL. We saw him in the Test series in England. It was so impressive, with the bat, didn't take that pressure, got so many runs out there, and also led the team so well. So I think, just seeing the future, because Australia tour is always important. It's going to be a tough tour as well, because Australian team, we all know, be it one day, be it T20s, they are a tough opposition. And playing in their home is not going to be easy. But I think Shubman Gill, that's the reason the selectors have made him the captain, because they're thinking for the future. They know he's one man who can really carry forward the team. He can lead the team in a better way. Because Rohit Sharma, yes, he's done a phenomenal job. All the credentials you mentioned, he's been a great captain, a great inspiration. India under him has done so well. Gill well is the side. But then you have to move forward, as a side. And I think time has come. And also the fact, Shreyas Iyer, he's been named the ODI vice captain as well. So I think, yes, it's a change as well. Someone like Dhruv Jurel as well getting a call-up because played so well in the Test match, in Ahmedabad. So I think, this looks to be a good side. But the best thing is, yes, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli will be part of the side, Narayan. And, they are playing this format India is looking that they should be at least playing one format for India. But I think Shubman Gill captaincy wasn't any surprise to me.
Definitely, as the team is going ahead and the management is looking for the future. Also joining us, the Joint Secretary of DDCA, Amit Groverji. Sir, a very warm welcome. Talking about the change in the philosophy, if you take a look at the captaincy, a few countries having the captains for the different formats. So having a single captain for all the three formats, how you look this approach?
I think it's a very logical and a bold move by BCCI to get Shubman Gill to become the ODI captain. You want leadership continuity. He did a very good job in the Test series in England. He's the vice captain in T20. So you want to have leadership continuity in all formats, and that's something that really helps. And having a person like Shubman, who's quite young and who's already shown a very smart thinker and having very good leadership qualities, and on top of that, he's also performing well. So it all adds up to the fact that having that leadership continuity in all formats really helps. Really helps the team get focused. Your leadership is set, and you can build in strategies, and you can get the youngsters to come on board as well as the experienced people. And having a good comprehensive team which can perform really well.
Definitely, as you mentioned, a good approach by the BCCI regarding the change in the captaincy, change in the guard. Ajay, if you talk about there are a few names that are missing, and we know that Ravindra Jadeja is one of the key batter. If you take a look, his performance in the longer format of the game was fantastic. He was a part of the Champions Trophy too, who won the trophy. So how do you think his absence, what the selector want to give a message? If you take a look, Hardik is not there because of the injury, Rishabh is not there because of the injury, and Jasprit Bumrah has been rested for this. What it means for you, the absence of Ravindra Jadeja?
Narayan, two things. Ravindra Jadeja, he's a great performer. We recently saw in the Test match that ended yesterday, just the way he's performed with the ball and the bat. But also the fact you have Akshar Patel, you have Washington Sundar and Kuldeep Yadav. You can't be taking too many spinners to Australia. But I think that's not the reason. But probably I think the reason is that they might have asked him, he might be rested as well, like Bumrah, because, it could be his call as well. Because, we have Akshar Patel, as I mentioned, you have Washington Sundar and Kuldeep Yadav in the ranks. So that could be one of the reason. I don't know exactly what the reason is, but I think that could be one of the reasons that he's been rested along with Bumrah as well. Because, Jadeja has been a great performer. He's a match winner for you, on the field, with the ball, with the bat as well. He's played some brilliant innings for India. And I don't think, form is the issue with him. So I think there is much more beyond to it. Maybe that he himself has taken a call and told the selectors as well. We don't know about that. Probably that might come as well. But I think along with Bumrah, it could be the reason that Jadeja has been rested.
Definitely, as you give the reasons, because conditions in Australia might be a reason for that. Ahmed, coming to you, if you talk about Rohit Sharma, we know that when he became captain, the way he performed with his bat and also won multiple trophies for India, 2 Asian Cups, Champions Trophy, T20 World Cup, and the final of the ODI Cup that India lost to the Australia. So overall, how you look the legacy of the Rohit Sharma as a captain, as we can say that the brand ambassador of the Indian cricket, who took the Indian cricket at the next level?
Absolutely. Rohit Sharma was a star performer. The way he batted, the way he led the team with finesse, and with a very calm persona. He didn't have any on-field spats or anything like that. He was aggressive within, and that portrayed that calmness portrayed in the whole team. That tranquility and the talent that he showed, the way he hit the sixes. He had the highest number of sixes coming up as an opener and just taking the opposition by the thorns. he has done phenomenally well for India. And his leadership was phenomenal. Having experienced people also in your side, he was able to handle both the youngsters as well as the likes of Virat Kohli
Right.
and the other experienced players in the team. And he led it with a great deal of finesse. That's something that
Right.
we always will always look back upon and say he did a phenomenal job for India.
Definitely, as you mentioned, that the way he gelled the juniors, the way he gelled the senior players with them, and took the Indian cricket forward was phenomenal. You both of stay with us. We are going to the next story. Again, we will come back to you. The big win for India, the clinical bowling performances from Ravindra Jadeja and Mohammad Siraj helped India thump West Indies by an innings and 140 runs in the first test at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. India declared on their overnight score of 448 for 5 and then blew away the West Indies for a paltry 146 in their second innings to go 1-0 up in the two-match series. Siraj and Jadeja were the lead bowlers for the India with 3-wicket and 4-wicket hauls respectively. And Siraj also completed a 7-wicket match haul, continuing his fine recent form. Ali Ketanze was the top scorer for the West Indies, followed by Justin Greaves, but those knocks did not help their cause. Earlier on day 2, KL Rahul, Ravindra Jadeja and Dhruv Jurel smashed turns to help India reach an emphatic total. Ajay, if we talk about this match, a big win for the India in the first test match against West Indies. Overall, how you look the performance of the Indian team, if you take a look at our batters, Dhruv Jurel, the way he performed, and do you think this India team right now is one of the best if you talk about the this format of the cricket?
Narayan, I feel, our bench strength, I always say, BCC has done a remarkable job. The kind of bench strength we have, the kind of players we have now, Dhruv Jurel, as you mentioned, getting opportunity because Rishabh Pant is injured. But just the way India have dominated, and it's been a really good start for India because the WTC cycle, you get those points, valuable points as well. Win is a win. And I think West Indies team, they are in a rebuilding phase. It's not the strongest side. It's not the side of the 80s or 90s that West Indies we know of. They are struggling. They are rebuilding. A lot of new players in the ranks. But, credit to the Indian bowlers, the Indian batters, they were phenomenal. Dhruv Jurel, Ravindra Jadeja, KL Rahul, all of them getting hundreds, fantastic efforts by them. Although West Indies won an important toss on day 1, decided to bat as well. But I think the problem was they lost too many wickets up front. And once you lose too many wickets up front, in any conditions, you're always up against a very strong Indian bowling lineup. India has all bases covered, be it the spinners, be it the fast bowlers. Siraj was once again phenomenal. Bumrah as well, he bowled well, although couldn't muster too many wickets. But I again thought, Ravindra Jadeja, what a player. And exactly what I mentioned, you bring Jadeja to the field and he gives his all. We didn't see him in the Asia Cup, but just the way he's performed in this test match, that shows the ability that he has. And time and again he's done that. But I think India looks to be a very strong team, Narayan, against West Indies. And the next test match is going to be in Delhi as well in a few days. And I think India will be wrapping up the series 2-0.
Definitely a big gap between the two teams. And Amitji, the way the next test match will be played in the Delhi, and as Ajay mentioned, a big gulf between the two teams in terms of performance, class and quality. So do you think, if talk about the cricketing perspective, that the future of the West Indies cricket, West Indies test cricket and the future of the test cricket with such teams, with such quality of cricket really is not looking good, because one-sided match in test cricket nobody wants to see. If there is no competition, do you think something should be done by the West Indies board and the West Indies cricket so that the test match, the real format, should just dominate in such scenario also?
Well, you see, a test match getting over in 2.5 days is definitely not good for this format. We want series like the India-England series where it went on till the last session, the last probably.
So we lost the connection with Amit Groverji. So So thanks, gentlemen, for joining us and giving a valuable perspective on the today's two top newses. And we are hoping that this Ajay, thanks for joining us and giving your valuable inputs for this important news. India defeated West Indies by a huge margin, as well as the story on India's squad announcement for the Australia series. Thanks for joining us. Now moving to the next story, that is the women's cricket team. The scenic Sri Lanka is gearing up for the much awaited high voltage clash of India versus Pakistan at the ongoing Women's Cricket World Cup in ODI format. The super encounter will take place at Colombo's Premadasa Cricket Stadium on 5th October 2025. Team India won the opening encounter. On the other hand, Pakistan lost its first match of the tournament and comes to the crease with low confidence. Here is more.
Sri Lanka, the pearl of the Indian Ocean, is not just a tourist destination with scenic beauty, but it's now becoming a hub of steaming cricketing action. Colombo, the capital city, is hosting ICC Women's Cricket World Cup, which is attracting eyeballs from across the globe. And up next is the much awaited India versus Pakistan group stage clash in the ODI format. The Indian women's team opened the tournament with a victory in its kitty against Sri Lanka at Guwahati. The match not only won hearts, but also surpassed the number of attendees inside the stadium. And talking about their upcoming clash against arch rivals Pakistan, Team India has been the heavily dominant side, with the women in blue impressing in both ODIs and T20Is. The two sides have met 11 times in the 50-over format, with India winning on all occasions in a display of sheer dominance. Players like Smriti Mandhana remain the key strength, while Team India's overall lineup is a mix of experience, agility, and loads of passion.
While Smriti Mandhana is just few runs away to make it a historic 5,000 run mark at the ODI Women's Cricket World Cup, a lot is in store for Harmanpreet Kaur and Deepti as well at this Women's Cricket World Cup to make not only just victories, memories, but also new records. With free entry and an intense match on the plate, a lot is expected out of the India versus Pakistan ODI Women's Cricket World Cup clash, where India already holds the upper hand. With camera person Gaurav Giri, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Colombo.
And to give more updates about this India versus Pakistan women's clash in the ODI World Cup, we are joined by our correspondent Deepika from Colombo. And Deepika, if we talk about this match, high voltage clash is there, India versus Pakistan. We can say that this Indian team, a fantastic performance in the past, the Indian women's team has displayed. But do you think this Pakistan teams have the quality players to pose a challenge against India? If you take a ranking also, there is a big gulf between India and Pakistan.
I think you answered it in your question itself, because you mentioned about the ranking and the gap that exists between both the teams. And the gap can be seen in the performance, because the players are not that strong when we talk about Team Pakistan. We saw that in the opening encounter of Pakistan that was against Bangladesh at the same stadium, Premdasa Stadium in Colombo, that Pakistan lost. And also talking about team's performance and team's morale, it is also not that high, because today at the pre-match press conference where the captain of the Pakistan team did come, she said that they are hoping to win this at least one match against Team India, but the pressure is too high, and she also accepted the fact that when it comes to India versus Pakistan, the pressure is even higher, because these are the games which are the big matches, which are the big encounters that tend to make a lot of pressure on the players. And talking about the composition of the team has just one or two players to depend upon who could be the threat or who could make some runs or stops the Team India for a short while, but not for a very long time, because this is ODI. And talking about, on the other hand, Team India's lineup, they have a very strong lineup when it comes to bowling, when it comes to batting, straight from Pratika Rawal to Smriti Mandhana to our captain Harmanpreet Kaur, and to also talk about the other players like Amanjot Kaur and Gaur, who's also playing a very good match, good innings. So far, all the players are very much in shape and very much ready for the upcoming clash. And this is not just an opportunity to win this game, but also to create new records and better their own net run rate as well, ahead of the main challenges that lie upon Team India's way to victory. Narayan.
Definitely, Deepika, as you mentioned that the Indian team is looking quite better, and the way, so overall talking about the Indian cricket, the way the cricket they played in the recent past, they defeated England in England, and but in the recent series, they lost the series against the Australia by a margin of the 2-1. Do you think that series against Australia, we know that Australia is one of the best team in the world, most successful team in the this format of the game, and if you talk about World Cup, they are the #1. So do you think the India team this time around, they have the capability to win their maiden ODI World Cup?
When we talk about the rest of the teams, Australia, England, and to some extent South Africa as well, they pose a serious threat for Team India, because as you mentioned about Team Australia, they are the 7-time winners, 7-time World Cup winners, and they are the defending champions. England is again, they have won the Cricket World Cup 4 to 5 times, and they are a very strong team. So when we talk about both the teams, Australia and England, they pose a serious threat for Team India. And as you mentioned about the ODI series, that was a very tight match, very tight encounter between India and Australia in the ODI series, where Smriti Mandhana hit 2 consecutive centuries in that particular ODI series, and she created record, broke the record of Virat Kohli wearing the 18 number jersey as well. So there we saw the emergence of how Smriti Mandhana is hitting and coming out with flying colours, but also at the same time, these are the moments, these are the teams where Team India really succumbs under pressure at moments, because that was what was seen in Australia's match in the ODI series as well. When we talk about tomorrow's encounter, however, Team India is not at all complacent, but again, it is a very easy match to win against Team Pakistan. But the real question is, would that performance really help against Team England and against Team Australia? Because the bowling coach today, the captain Harmanpreet Kaur, did not come to attend the press conference, but instead the bowling coach came. So the bowling coach clearly said that there are many performance analysts, there are many other support staff who are helping Team India after every match, and even after the practice sessions, even after the main match days, they always come together for brainstorming and learning what went wrong and what went right for the team. And they are really very much aggressive in their behavior in order, and they have that intent to lift the Cricket World Cup trophy this time. But considering the big match guns who are Australia and England, it's going to be the real challenge for Team India there. Narayan.
Definitely, as we know that Australia 7-time champion, England 4-time champion, and New Zealand also has won the trophy 1 time. So this time around, the way Indian cricketers, women cricketers have performed in the recent past and the kind of preparation they have done, definitely we are hoping, Deepika, they will just win the final frontier this time around. Thanks for joining us and giving a perspective of this big match between India and Pakistan, the Women's World Cup. Now shifting to the next story, that is from the football. FIFA has unveiled the official match ball for the 2026 World Cup, combining high-tech refinements and design details, celebrating the 3 co-host countries, the United States, Mexico and Canada. The name Trionda and the iconography on the ball was inspired by the fact that this will be the first World Cup being organized by the 3 countries. The technological advancements include deep seams designed to produce the optimal in-flight stability and embossed icons that improve grip in wet or humid conditions. A motion sensor chip will really information on the ball's movement and sending data to the video assistant referee system. The World Cup will be held from June 1 to July 19 next year. The tournament draw will be held in Washington on December 5.
People are passionate about football, they want to see the celebration, they want to watch the game, so the ball is perfect. May the competition begin. I think people are looking forward to the competition kicking off so that they can enjoy this World Cup.
Now from UEFA Champions League, title holders Paris Saint-Germain came from behind to beat Barcelona 2-1 with a last-minute goal in the Champions League this week. The meeting of the Spanish champions and the reigning French and European champions was one of the most eagerly anticipated of the opening stages of this season's competition. It lived up to its billing despite Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele missing out injured for an understrength PSG, while Lamine Yamal showing flashes of his brilliance for the hosts. This win makes it 2 from 2 for PSG in this season's Champions League. So that's all in this edition of the Match Point. For all the updates, international updates and the sports updates, keep watching DD India. Namaskar.
Whenever we think of scientists, farmers or shepherds protecting our environment, but the reality is quite different. Across the world, women have often done the quiet, hidden, silent work of protecting our planet.
We've also noticed that because we had a kind of a model farm where we grew multiple crops, farmers around have also started doing that.
In the beginning, it was frightening. I went door to door